Franz, could you try to break this glass, please? Yeah. Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Hey everyone, welcome. Come on in. It's great to see you back here, and if you're new, I hope you love this show and you'll keep coming back. I'm beginning to feel a little bit like the world is divided up into two types of people. Those who just get Tesla and those who don't. It feels a little strange, doesn't it? To think people could have such divergent views on a topic and on a company whose mission seems incontrovertibly positive and whose valuation seems insanely low if Tesla is able to execute on everything they say they're going to do over the next several years. It's interesting when you feel like you're waking up and the rest of the world is still asleep. Anyway, I don't want to create a meme out of this next part, but I keep making a reference to the fact that when I post videos about Tesla, the stock goes up. And here's an earlier video of me talking about an even earlier video of me talking about the correlation between posting videos and the stock. Here it is. I said this in an earlier video. I said I would make a video every weekday. And I'm not saying there's a connection, but every time I upload a video, Tesla stock keeps going up. So I made that video on January 8th. Tesla stock keeps climbing, so today's the 14th. We'll see what happens. Well, that was the 14th. Today's the 22nd, and we're still going. We made a new record today, so I don't know, maybe I should stop. Please enjoy this meme inside a meme while you consider sharing a link to this channel with someone you know who may not be as enlightened as you are. Okay, there's a lot to cover today. I'm also working on several new videos, including one devoted solely to Cybertruck and one devoted to the history of Elon with content from Ashley Vance's book and more. By the way, this is not a Tesla-only channel, but people seem to love this content, and now's just not the time to hold back. If you watch my earlier videos, you'll understand why. Okay, so there's a lot to get to today. We had yet another price target upgrade from Pierre Ferragu. I'll be taking a look at the Barron's article, which mentions his upgrade a little later. Plus, I'll cover a brand new chart we haven't looked at yet. I think you're really going to like it. Wait, hang on a second. Who is this? Hey, guys, we're doing a show right now. People are busy. They can't just...
Do you have comments on Elon Musk?
And I spoke to him very recently, and rockets, he likes rockets. I never saw where the engines come down. He's one of our great geniuses. We have to protect all of these people that came up with originally the light bulb and the wheel. He's done a very good job. They were talking about the end of the company, and now all of a sudden they're talking about these great things. He's going to be building a very big plant in the United States.
Okay, let's get to the news. So just to review, Tesla officially closed at a new all-time record of just under 570 per share, up a little over 4%, and after hours at 572, up another 43 basis points. There was an article titled Tesla Stock Rally Extremely Unusual, Analyst says, and the headline is a little bit jarring, but basically she talks about the trough in June and the 190% gain off of that trough, how it's baffling many investors. And basically she says, while it's not unheard of in other sectors, the sharp gain is extremely unusual in the auto and industrial sector, pointing to examples like Ford, Daimler, and Fiat Chrysler. Again, if you've watched the other videos, or really, if you're watching this video, you're smart enough to know that Tesla is not an auto company. So that's only one component of the many businesses that they have. So it's funny that people keep trying to compare them to auto companies. And just taking a look at the daily performance, this is fascinating, but this happened in an earlier video I did too, where you basically had every single auto company down on the day, and then Tesla up 4%. The S&P was about flat today, even though I don't show that here. But just another interesting data point. Here's the Barron's article, and the title is Tesla stock gets another bold call from the analyst who predicted $530 per share. This was the guy who I thought might be French, and he raised his price target to $800 a share, which I came out with on December 30th or 31st of last year. He's apparently the highest on Wall Street, and he sees a path to more than $1,100 a share over the next few years. Here's what I said about Wall Street analysts and their price targets in an earlier video. Wall Street is always playing catch up, and this is why it's better to look into the future. Anyone can take their price target up incrementally as the shares keep rising. So the article goes on to say how the analyst initiated on Tesla in May of 2018 with a $530 price target when the stock was at roughly $280, and at the time it was a bold call. He had to endure shares dipping below $200 after his report was published, so good for him for sticking with it. It says that his investment thesis is built upon 3 pillars: technology leadership, product appeal, and improved manufacturing excellence. Can't argue with any of those. He thinks Tesla has a lead on every single element of the electric drivetrain: battery chemistry, battery architecture, power inverter, and motors. And if you've heard Elon talk recently about batteries and other OEMs, he basically says that they are not focused on that aspect of the manufacturing process whatsoever. So I think, and correct me if you have alternative information, I'd love to take a look at it, but Tesla is one of the only, if not the only, OEMs manufacturing batteries. So he sees Tesla's ultimate addressable market of about 20 million vehicles, which leaves ample room for growth. And if you've seen some of my earlier models, I don't think you need to believe that Tesla gets to anywhere near 20 million vehicles in order for the share price to be a lot higher, even than where it is today. 20 million would be about 20% of the market. The size of the global auto market is roughly 90 to 100 million. China makes up 26 million of that. So China is a big deal. And I've talked about how the positive news flow out of China has contributed to the recent stock price increases. I actually like this part where it talks about how Farragu's, I hope I'm saying that name right, higher price target isn't a function of anything Elon will say on the company's fourth quarter earnings conference call. Instead, he is betting on what the company will look like far into the future. Quote, "We estimated that by 2025, Tesla could produce and sell 2 to 3 million cars like other premium brands and in line with BMW today. A $40,000 to $45,000 ASP results in 80 to 120 billion in auto revenues." And if you believe Elon, we'll have to see what happens, but if you believe Elon, he did say at Autonomy Day that he believes they can 10x production over 5 years. So if they 10x what they're doing today, 500,000 vehicles, that gets you to 5 million in about 5 years. I guess we'll have to see what happens. So overall, a good article, but just keep in mind, my own personal opinion is that you'll never beat the market by simply listening to and reacting to what the professionals say. You have to look forward, think ahead, and think for yourself, because oftentimes by the time Wall Street officially publishes their price targets, they're too late and the stock has already moved. They're unwilling to really step out and make a bold call, and so they wait for price confirmation from the stock before they really do anything in most cases. So I took this directly from Y Charts, and it plots Wall Street Analyst price targets, average price targets for both Apple and Tesla over the past 12 months. And you can see Tesla in the blue here. If you rewind a year, the price was actually up close to 330 or 340, almost where the stock is today. And then it took a significant dip, basically following the stock price. And Apple did something completely different. It rallied over 80% last year, and the analysts took their price targets up incrementally as the stock rose. And if you plot Tesla's price target against forward EBITDA estimates, you can see that price targets have really followed the short-term earnings trajectory. It's ignored the long-term positive developments that the company has made over the last couple of years and really focused on short-term earnings only. So some of the things that Tesla was penalized for last year in 2019, such as shipping cost and production delays and things like that, which didn't really have to do with demand or any underlying fundamentals with the business, but some of the things that penalized Tesla from a financial standpoint, from an earnings standpoint, also affected the price target. And it just shows you that the thinking really is shorter term. Finally, I've showed this chart before if you've seen some of my other videos, but this is a chart on a split adjusted basis of Apple. And you can see from 2002 to 2003, it was kind of flat. It broke out of this range and then basically 2 or 3x'd, or even depending on where you're measuring from, maybe even 4 or 5x'd, and it went on this huge run. Here's the point. If you sold there because you felt like the stock had gone parabolic and you were worried that the shares would drop, this is what happened to you. 2004, 2005 is right around here at that $4 number. The stock's at $3.17. Again, this is split adjusted back then. So it's always useful to keep the longer term in mind when you're considering value. The chart is important, and you do want to be mindful of all risks at all times. There's no question that Tesla stock is up a lot, but again, if you keep the longer term picture in mind, you'll see that as you zoom out on certain charts, that things aren't quite as scary as they look. I saw this post on Reddit speculating that Trump just leaked information about a new US Gigafactory. And Trump did say at the end of that interview that Tesla will be building a new factory in the US. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it might be for the Cybertruck. Obviously, they'll have to build them somewhere. So who knows? There's another article, and I can't really tell if this is tongue in cheek or not, but it talks about the reason for Tesla's continuing rise in price. And basically that it coincides with information leaking out on the China Gigafactory 3 performance, either from inside the corporate offices in China or from new vehicle registration data from some government agency. I actually don't want to discuss this too much more because I can't tell if the person is kidding or not, but I think the stock's reacting to a lot of things. It's hard to tell what. I was going to play some clips from noted Tesla short seller Whitney Tilson, who I think has actually been on both sides of Tesla. I think he's owned it when it's gone down and shorted it when it's gone up. So I don't really want to get us all twisted around by listening to what he has to say, even though this is an old clip. Things are going well right now. Momentum is on our side. Let's just leave things as they are. And finally, if you stuck with me until the end of this video, first, I really want to thank you for the support. It's meant so much and it's helped me make these videos a lot better. I hope you're noticing that, and please give me your feedback because I'd love to provide even more and make these videos better and better and better. And I just pulled a little clip and a little quote from a book that really helped me with my thinking. It's called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. And take this quote with a grain of Himalayan sea salt. But here's what it says, and this is what I liked. He says, "The whole world is crazy, certifiable lunatics. The only reason we're not locked up in an institution is that there are so many of us. So we're crazy. We're living on crazy ideas about love, about relationships, about happiness, about joy, about everything. We're crazy to the point I've come to believe that if everybody agrees on something, you can be sure that it's wrong." So I think that draws some great parallels in thinking through how people have treated Tesla stock in the past, namely that they thought it was a joke, that they didn't believe in the company, and there were a core group of people who believed in the mission, who understood the product, and who were fanatics. Maybe the world is finally starting to see this new point of view a little bit, but there's a lot more convincing to do. So I hope in their own small way, these videos are helping Tesla to get their message out there about sustainability, about improving the probability of having a bright future for all of humankind. And I don't know, maybe that's too much to get into. This is just a YouTube video. But the point is, thank you so much for sticking with me. I will see you soon. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow for a brand new video we upload every single weekday. Thanks so much.